Most people think their English problem is vocabulary, or grammar, or accent. But after coaching thousands of learners from different countries, I can tell you something uncomfortable but freeing. Your biggest problem is not what you say. It's how your English sounds when it comes out of your mouth. Your conversational tone. I've seen learners with simple English sound confident, natural, and likable. And I've seen learners with advanced English sound robotic, awkward, even rude, without meaning to. And today, I want to reveal 3 huge mistakes that silently kill your conversational tone. Not small mistakes. Big ones. The kind that stop people from connecting with you, even when your English is correct. Let's start with the first one. Mistake number 1. Speaking English like it's a written exam. This is the most common mistake I hear. You speak English as if someone is grading you. Every sentence feels heavy. Every word feels carefully placed. Your brain is working harder than your mouth. And the result? Your English sounds tight, unnatural, and distant. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine someone asks you a simple question. How was your day? Many learners answer like this. It was quite productive. I completed my assigned tasks and managed my time efficiently. Is this sentence correct? Is it natural in conversation? Not really. A native speaker is more likely to say, pretty good actually. Busy, but productive. Here's the key difference, and this is critical. Conversation is not about perfection. It's about connection. When you speak like you're writing an essay, people feel a wall between you and them. Why does this happen? Because most learners learned English in classrooms where writing was rewarded, grammar accuracy was everything, mistakes felt dangerous. So when you speak, your brain goes into exam mode. But real conversations don't work like exams. They work like music. There's rhythm. There's flow. There's rise and fall. And tone matters more than structure. Here's a simple exercise I give my students. Take this sentence. I did not understand what you meant. Now say it in a written tone. I did not understand what you meant. Now say it in a spoken tone. Sorry, I didn't really get what you meant. Same meaning. Completely different feeling. The second version sounds softer, more human, more open. And this is the secret most learners miss. Good conversational tone uses shorter sentences, softer words, and natural pauses. If your English always sounds formal, your tone will always feel stiff. And people may think you're nervous, you read distant, or worse, uninterested, even when you're not. So if you remember one thing from this first mistake, remember this. If it sounds like something you would write, it probably doesn't belong in casual speech. Now let's move to the second huge mistake, and this one is even more damaging. Mistake number 2, using a flat, emotionless voice. This mistake kills conversations instantly, and the painful truth is, many learners don't even realize they're doing it. They speak English with one emotional level. No rise, no fall, no emphasis, just words. Let me be very direct here. English is an emotional language. Not dramatic, not fake, but emotionally alive. If your tone never changes, people feel bored, even if your content is interesting. Think about this sentence. I'm really excited about this opportunity. Now imagine saying it with a flat tone. I'm really excited about this opportunity. Does that sound excited? Now imagine. I'm really excited about this opportunity. See the difference? Same words. Different tone. Different impact. Many learners focus so much on pronunciation that they forget expression. But tone carries meaning. Let me show you something powerful. Say this sentence out loud. Oh, that's interesting. Now say it 3 different ways. Curious, doubtful, genuinely impressed. Same words. 3 completely different messages. Native speakers do this naturally. Learners often don't, because no one teaches it. Here's why flat tone happens. You're translating in your head, you're afraid of sounding wrong. You're focusing on grammar instead of meaning. So your voice becomes neutral, safe, but lifeless. And people subconsciously feel it. They may respond with short answers, less engagement, polite distance. Not because your English is bad, but because your tone feels empty. Here's how you fix this. Stop thinking in full sentences. Start thinking in ideas and feelings. Before you speak, ask yourself, how do I feel about this? Then let your voice reflect that. You don't need to exaggerate. You just need to allow variation. Raise your voice slightly when something matters. Slow down when something is serious. Soften when something is personal. English conversation is not just spoken, it's performed lightly. And once you allow emotion into your voice, people lean in. They listen. They respond. Now, the third mistake ties everything together, and it's the most subtle one. Mistake number 3, trying to sound correct instead of sounding human. Most English learners don't try to sound interesting. They try to sound correct. And this single mindset quietly ruins tone. When your goal is correctness, your voice tightens. Your pauses disappear. Your personality shrinks. You start speaking at people instead of with them. Let me show you how this sounds. Imagine someone says, "That movie was terrible." A learner often replies, "I disagree. I believe the plot was well developed and the cinematography was impressive." Grammatically fine. Tonally tilt. A natural reply might be, "Really? I actually liked it, especially the visuals." Notice what changed. Shorter structure, softer disagreement, personal opinion, not judgment. Here's the coaching truth. Conversation is not a debate. It's emotional exchange. When you sound overly correct, people feel corrected. And even if they can't explain why, they feel uncomfortable. Why does this happen? Because real spoken English is full of imperfection fillers, softening phrases, emotional signals. Things like, "I guess," "I feel like," "maybe," "kind of," "to be honest." Learners often avoid these because they seem weak or incorrect. But in reality, they make your tone approachable. Here's a powerful exercise. Take this sentence. "I do not agree with your opinion." Now soften it naturally. "I don't really agree, to be honest." "I see what you mean, but I feel a bit differently." Same meaning, completely different tone. One feels confrontational, the other feels human. If your English always sounds strong, firm, and perfect, people feel pressure. Good conversational tone leaves space. Space for the other person to breathe, respond, and connect. Now, one mistake you silently make is not adjusting your tone to the other person. This mistake is subtle and incredibly powerful. Many learners speak English the same way to everyone. Same speed, same energy, same tone. But natural conversation is adaptive. You adjust without thinking. To the situation, to the person, to the emotional moment. When you don't adjust, your tone feels off, even if your English is good. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine your friend says, "I just lost my job." Now imagine responding with the same energetic tone you'd use for good news. "Oh wow, that's really interesting." That would feel wrong, right? But learners often do this accidentally. Not because they don't care, but because they're focused on speaking correctly, not appropriately. Tone must match context. Here are 3 tone mismatches I hear all the time. 1. Being too energetic in serious moments. 2. Being too flat in emotional moments. 3. Being too formal in casual situations. Each one creates distance. Let's focus on the most common one, formality. Many learners speak to friends, coworkers, even family in English like this. "Thank you for informing me. I will consider it." That tone creates a wall. A natural tone would be, "Thanks for letting me know, I'll think about it." Same meaning, different relationship. Tone tells people how close you want to be. And if your tone is always formal, people assume you want distance, even when you don't. Here's the key coaching insight. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is alignment. Alignment between your words, your voice, the moment. To build this skill, do this. When listening to native speakers, stop focusing on words. Listen to when they slow down, when they soften, when they rise in energy, when they drop their voice. They are constantly adjusting. And here's something most learners never hear. You don't need perfect English to have great tone. But you do need awareness. Now, let me give you something practical. Now, how to check your tone. Before you respond in a conversation, Take half a second and ask, is this casual or serious? Is this emotional or neutral? Do I need warmth, confidence, or calm? Then let your voice reflect the answer. Not your grammar. Your intent. This tiny pause changes everything. Because once your tone matches the moment, people feel understood. And when people feel understood, they forgive mistakes. They lean in. They engage. Now I'll show you how to train conversational tone daily, what top English speakers do differently, and how to sound confident without forcing it. Now that you understand the 3 huge mistakes that kill conversational tone, the real question is, how do you fix this, for real, in daily life? Not in theory, not in textbooks, but in the way you actually speak. This is where most advice fails, so let me be very clear and very honest with you. You don't fix conversational tone by learning more rules. You fix it by training awareness and response, not perfection. Let me show you how top English speakers and strong non-native speakers actually do this. You've probably heard this advice. Just speak more English. And while that sounds logical, it's incomplete. If you repeat the same tone mistakes again and again, you're not improving, you're reinforcing them. It's like practicing the wrong posture at the gym. More reps don't help. So instead of speaking more, you need to speak with feedback, even if that feedback comes from yourself. Here's the first daily habit. Habit number 1. Record your voice, but listen differently. Most learners record themselves to check pronunciation. That's not enough. When you listen back, ask these questions instead. Do I sound tense or relaxed? Does my voice rise and fall? Do I sound interested in my own words? Don't judge grammar. Don't judge accent. Judge energy and flow. Here's a powerful trick. Record yourself answering a simple question like, "How was your day?" Then record it again, but this time, imagine you're talking to a close friend, a colleague, someone you admire. Same words, different tone. This exercise teaches your voice flexibility, which is the heart of conversational tone. Habit number 2. Copy tone, not words. This is what advanced speakers do differently. They don't copy vocabulary first. They copy rhythm, pauses, emphasis, emotional weight. Choose a short clip, 15 to 30 seconds, from a podcast, an interview, a movie scene. Listen once for meaning. Then listen again and ignore the words. Pay attention to where the speaker slows down, where they soften, where they stress a word. Then repeat it out loud, not word for word, but tone for tone. This is called shadowing, and it's one of the fastest ways to sound natural. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is growth. Habit number 3. Replace perfect with present. This habit alone can change your English in 1 week. Before you speak, stop asking, "Is this correct?" Start asking, "Am I present in this moment?" Presence creates tone. When you're present, you pause naturally, you respond emotionally, you adjust automatically. Here's a mindset shift I teach my private students. People don't connect with perfect English. They connect with honest English. Mistakes don't kill conversations. Cold tone does. If you're warm, engaged, and responsive, people will meet you halfway. Every time. How top English speakers sound confident without trying. This might surprise you. Confidence in English is not volume. It's not speed. It's not advanced vocabulary. Confidence is clarity plus calm. Strong speakers speak slightly slower than nervous speakers, pause without apologizing, let sentences end instead of rushing. They don't fill every silence. Silence, when used correctly, adds weight. Here's a simple exercise. Say this sentence quickly. "I think this could work if we make a few changes." Now say it again, slower, with a pause. "I think this could work if we make a few changes." Notice how the second version sounds more confident, even though the words didn't change. Tone carries authority. Now, the final truth about conversational tone. Let me leave you with something important. Your conversational tone is not a performance. It's a reflection of how safe you feel while speaking. If you're constantly afraid of mistakes, your tone will always sound guarded. But when you allow yourself to be curious, relaxed, emotionally involved, your English opens up. And suddenly, People listen longer, conversations flow easier, you feel more like yourself. That's the goal. Not sounding native. Not sounding perfect. Sounding human. If you take one thing from this entire video, take this. Backhand index pointing right tone is the bridge between language and connection. Build that bridge, and your English will finally start working for you, not against you.